So, yeah, we were just talking about our experiences in 9 to 5s before we started our businesses, when we were working for companies, when we were employed, when we were on the payroll, when we were in the rat race. And Ishran was talking about his experience with...
Yeah, my experience in my first job.
Yeah.
How did I leave it? How did it feel? Yeah, I experienced like in the very first job, then the first job about UK. In the UK, I was like, ooh, a lot of memories.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things. So you were just talking about how you negotiated high salary and how you presented to 40 head teachers in education.
Yeah. It was basically what happens like negotiating with higher salary is there was a really interesting situation. Like there was 3 people in the company, like 3 developers. We were working together, and basically the 2 best developers, me and a friend of mine, we just handed over the notice at the same time at the beginning of the school year. It was an educational company, so we actually left them in a situation that is like really difficult for them.
Yeah, I could imagine.
And basically, we were really motivated to keep at least one of us on board. So they basically had to like raise my salary, actually double my salary. And it was a really interesting experience because at the time I was completely nervous about it. I didn't know what I'm doing. I was just like going with my gut feeling, and I was like shaking before and after, like talking to my manager.
And did you get the higher salary?
Yes, I got it.
Congratulations, that was really excellent.
Thank you.
See, and this is the thing. This is what I was trying to say, because this is why I do a lot of work with women in business and mompreneurs, and encouraging women in business, because I had a similar experience but the opposite way around. So in my my second job when I was much younger, I went into a small company. There was no training, there was no manuals or anything like that. And basically what happened is the boss tried to say, oh, you're not performing, we're going to have to reduce your salary, we're going to have to cut your salary. And at the time I didn't realise that a lot of people had come to the company, a lot of people will leave after a couple of months, and at that time I was actually doing the best at that level. So I was feeling really bad, feeling really responsible, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, and I just went along with it. And now I look back and I think, oh my gosh, that was a really big mistake to have made, because really I should have been more empowered and more confident to just have the ball in my court and not stand for that type of thing. But at the same time, it put me on the track to then start my own business and move towards finding my own private work and finding other jobs. So there was that side of it as well. But it was just really something that I think as women we need to talk about these negotiations, and like how to really stand for what you're worth in the business world. And maybe some men as well who are watching this, but there really is a lot that we need to do around this area, I think, when it comes to getting the price that you deserve. Whether you're in 9 to 5 or whether you're in business, there's just so many things that I think we both want to work on now in this area. And then I think as well, in this job that I'm talking about, when I was working 9 to 5, so my second proper job, working in a tax practice, I think at that time as well, I wasn't using my skills to my advantage. I wasn't really aware of my skills, and my boss, even though he was a seasoned professional, I don't think he actually brought out my skills or used my expertise and my enthusiasm to his advantage. Because now I think back, I was like, oh, I was always like trying to talk to people. So he put me right at the front, near the window. There's a big glass window. Everyone walking by, everyone driving by would be like looking in, and I could see they were like looking at me, and sometimes I'll wave. And I always wanted to talk to people. I always wanted to actually talk to them, but because I was doing like accounting behind the computer, I didn't feel comfortable, and no one in the workplace really engaged with people. So it just subconsciously, it just didn't seem like the thing to do to get into long conversations. And I think a few times he's like, why are you talking to these people so much? Are they your friends? He would actually say that. He's like, oh look, here comes your friend. And then he would just leave, go to his office. And I would see to that like client and talk to that client. And now I think, oh my gosh, I really should have used that more at the time. And it's actually a good benefit. liking, enjoying talking to people and that type of thing. So that was one thing. Now I think back, I'm like, oh, that was actually a benefit. That was an advantage. I should have done that even more. What do you think about this?
Yes, I agree with that. It's definitely something that they should have leveraged, that you're actually
Yeah.
easily making friends with people.
Yeah,
Everybody
and
loves you, and like actually like when you start talking to people, it's like you easily make that connection,
Thank
and it's like a really huge benefit when it's a company, you know, because people buy from people, people connect to people trust people. It's actually a lot of time it's not about the actual service, it's about the human connection
Yeah, that's true.
with the company.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm not bragging or anything, but at the time I was really introverted. I didn't notice these things at all at the time. So now I'm looking back, I'm like, oh, I actually enjoyed this bit, and I just love learning about people, and I find them really interesting and funny, and their little nuances. I just always love it. And there was I remember one client in particular. He would come in and he had a digital business. He was selling games online on a website online, and he had thousands of PayPal transactions, chargebacks. Like, oh my gosh, it was crazy. And no one else in the practice liked to talk to him or deal with him. And the boss just was like, oh, he's your friend, you deal with it, you work on those accounts. And at the time, I think as well, the boss thought, oh, this is a smaller job, it's not really worth my time. But I really loved it and I really enjoyed working on it. And now I think, oh, this is probably one of the reasons why now I love working with digital businesses, things in the cloud, e-commerce, PayPal transactions, love it. So that was another thing. Now I think back, I'm like, oh, that was actually really a good thing that I experienced and can look back on. And wait, I haven't finished yet.
I'm not surprised. keep going.
Wait, what else happened in this particular job that I'm thinking of? I won't say the company name. The company's in Putney. So, what else happened at that time? So yeah, there was the cloud, there was talking to people. Oh my gosh, inquiries. So before, when I was younger, I used to be very nervous to pick up the phone, actually, in the office. I was very nervous to pick up the phone. But then when it was inquiries, I really did love it. So when it was like someone calling to ask questions like, oh, can you do our accounts, can you do our tax work? I'll be writing down the notes, I'll be asking them questions, finding out what they need. And I didn't even realise what I was doing at the time. I didn't have any training around calls, dealing with inquiries or anything like that. But that's another thing that now I love, completely love. So that was another thing that I had learnt, just kind of on the job, on the fly. Do you have anything else like that?
Anything else that I learned?
When you look back and you think, oh, at the time I thought it was insignificant, I didn't even realise, but actually now it's one of my strengths, or it's what I really love.
Yeah, one of the things, first job in Hungary, is like actually, I went there and what I was doing, just like, I looked at the job like, I'm learning. It's not about the salary, not about anything, it's just all about just learning as much as possible. And basically, I was a junior. I started basically working 6 months, and pretty much the guy who was leading the PHP team just left to want to do something else. And my manager they asked me, a rookie guy, a junior guy, to lead the PHP team because they see the sort of attitude in me that I'm like curious. I'm always asking questions. I'm really curious about what's happening in the company. I'm really curious, and I'm always asking questions, even if
Curiouser and curiouser. That's from Alice in Wonderland. Sorry.
Even if it wasn't the project I was working on, I was just asking questions, and it put me in a position after 6 months that was like a huge step for me. And after that, basically, I started going to meetings with clients. At the beginning with my manager, then I was just like going like completely alone. I had a chance to like actually speak in front of 40 people, teaching 40 people to.
Not just any people.
Not just any people, basically.
It was very intimidating people.
integrated quickly. I was teaching high school teachers how to use the system.
High school teachers.
The funny part was that they are actually like they sit into the desk of the children, and they actually like the students. They actually started acting like students, like talking to each other, screaming, shouting, like throwing paper balls, like completely like kids.
So what did you learn? What was the big learning?
What was the big learning? There's actually no much how I'm afraid of these things that actually like standing up and speaking in front of people. Just do it.
Do
no
it.
matter what, just do it.
Okay, I remember that.
No, I actually like anytime I have like I'm afraid of like standing up and talking. Like oh, actually like I already talked in front of 40 people.
So just do it. Yeah, like how we did the water pitch contest for Grant Cardone. I'm gonna link the video. Like that was so scary. Oh my god! But we did it. No, not yet. So okay, so 2 more things that I learned as well before we go in a minute from this job, from my second proper job, 9 to 5. The thing was as well at that time, I was saying to my boss, I was like, oh, you know, we should use Twitter. At that time, this was like 2009, 2010, so it wasn't as popular. So I was saying to him, oh, we should be on Twitter, we should be on LinkedIn, we should be on Facebook, we should be doing a lot of talking to people. And he's like, nah, we don't need to do that, we're not going to do that. So for some reason, I just had this instinct that, yeah, we should be doing it, we should be having fun with it. And he was like, no, we're not going to do that. And that's probably why now, like with Tax Work, I want to be so social. As you probably might know, we're on all these different things like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. So that was a really key thing that I wanted to incorporate. And I think that's why I just like took it and ran with it with Tax Work. And the second thing after that was having templates. So having manuals, having templates, and making sure that everything is like just easy. Like you can just find it on Google Docs. You can, all my people that work with me, they can talk to me anytime on Skype. They can ask me questions. And yeah, so that's pretty much another thing. Everything's templated, everything's organized when it comes to training people. I'm always welcoming to my team members to talk to me. I think that's pretty much everything.
Yes. This is everything for now.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more we could go into. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. And we're going to do some more videos talking about our learnings and our journey so far as entrepreneurs and as human beings in the world. So please remember to thumbs up and subscribe for more videos. And you can reach me at ruth@taxedwork.com. Follow me at taxedwork on Instagram, Facebook. And find me on Facebook, Ruth Noel.
Okay. You can find me basically at Istvan at 47links.com on my website 47links.com.
Okay, bye peeps.
Bye.